hope wherever you are in the world, could be Monday, could be early, late, or what have you, could be afternoon. We don't even know. We just going on. We going on. We gonna see what we working with. Let me get back into this groove. Let's see. Just starting out today, so everybody's just doing good. We're gonna talk about some events. We're gonna see where everybody's at. See how you feel. Coming on to you live. Yeah. So we're gonna see what we got real quickly. Um, Start with the question today. Let's see. Uh, I'm trying to think of a good question I'm gonna ask. We're gonna ask this question. In light of everything that's going on right now, I think we're just gonna ask this question. It's a pretty simple question. It's a pretty having in color. So we're gonna just go straight forward to this. We're gonna ask the simple question. It shouldn't be hard. Hello, how you doing? Hello, hello, hello. Archie Whitlow. Okay, that's an interesting name. Where you from? I've never heard that name before. Whitlow. Where you coming from today? Man, that didn't take long. What's happening? How you doing? How you doing? Let me know where you coming from. What's up? Tell me where you come. Please hit the like if you're coming on. Let me know where you're coming from. What would you like to talk about today? And 50-50 split so far. I think this will be a good one today. I think it'll definitely be a good one. So see what we're working with. Please hit the likes up if you're coming through. Let me know where you're coming from. Okay, okay. What part? What part? What part are you in? I always like to know what part of the UK. Let me know. Don't get shy on me. Let me know where you're coming from today. Get some good conversation today. Let me know what's on your mind. What's on your mind? What's on your mind? Holla, holla, holla. That's a very distinctive name, T Studio. So let me know. people come and go here pretty quick, but we'll see. I will be on if I sense that there is some buzz going on. I appreciate the emojis, but I appreciate conversation even more. So feel free to chime away. Let's talk and let me know as we are on here this particular Monday. So let me know what's on the mind, what's the agenda. Let's talk. I will be on as long as I hear some conversation. So let's see what we got. See how the day's going. Hmm. I see somebody coming through. We're gonna see what we're working with. I'm trying to sign out these notifications to let people know that I am that is live and see what we're getting on. What's happening? How you doing? Treasury green. What does saying mean? Tell me what that mean in English. Trees are green. Okay. I don't know what that mean, but let me know. Just on the day and see what we're working with. Everybody's having a good day so far though. Got 3 responses so far, so okay. Let's see if America gonna get some love. Okay, we gonna find out if you getting some love. Some people are indifferent to you. We gonna find out. Everybody's having a good day so far. Thank you. Appreciate that. Tell me something about yourself if you don't mind me asking. I'm always glad to get new people to come through and welcome the conversation and tell me something about where you're from and what you like, interests as far as different things. Yeah, it's on you. I don't just do these things ghostly. I like to know where people are coming from, some about themselves. Because if you're joining in, and I like knowing that you're going to be a regular, I will give conversation, and I like to just hear something about people. So you see me across these forums. I just, what part of England are you from? I do. I like bike riding too. I haven't done it since I've been here though. But I like bike riding. Oh, but it's okay. Yeah, what part of England you from? Got quite a few heads in here, so feel free. You might want to come in here. Feel free to 50-50 split them. Okay, London. Okay. I was there last November. I'm on the outskirts of the Isle of Wight, so I was in London. It was nice. I was in central London, actually. There's no pre recording. There's no pre recording. But you got to tell me who you are before I do any such activity, and I have to know about you. I don't do that. This is a live stream. I don't want to do that because I have people around neighborhoods, and you just don't want to do that. Oh, okay, okay, okay. That's cool. That's cool. You're a content creator too. screen for. What you mean? What's wrong with it? I'm seeing it just fine. I don't know what you mean. Oh, okay. Well, because you're born and came here and ain't got nothing to say, so that's why. Oh, that's because the box is the way it is. But I can see where I'm coming from very clearly, though. If you don't like it, you can leave. Andrew Podberry or whatever your name is. No, I don't take the full phone. Oh yeah, they got rules about that. Yeah, yeah, that takes work. Uh, it's it's worth it though. You got to put the work in. Obviously, with the content creation, the subject matter, but it's worth it though. I don't have no gimmicks. I talk about life in general. Talk about sports, music, politics, race, um, human reaction. That's all. It's no gimmick. There's nothing gimmick about it. It's all everyday life. It just so happens that people that have kind of want you first. Of all, I'm gonna end you, Jive Turkey. Coming up here on my stream talking crazy. Get your tired behind up out of here. Okay. So anyway, um, you just talk about different things in life. That's all. Oh, it's fun. Yeah, you got a good subject matter. You have good content. People come back and they watch you, and so forth and so forth. So it's all good. I don't need it to be wide because if I do it too wide, then it's like everybody's all in your background, all in your stuff. So as long as we're having conversation, that's all that matters. I don't want it to be the walls are taking you away or nothing like that. You know, when I'm outside, I'm gonna really take advantage of that aspect. But right now, I'm just doing the inside thing. Wow, this thing is taking off like wildfire. I got 10 poll hitting us. Is good. We're gonna have a good stream today. Thank you for everybody that's coming through today. It's definitely live. Could you shout me out to the viewers so I can get a little close to my goal of 56? So trees are green 7. Shouting out trees are green 7. And get a little closer to the goal of 50 subs. So please subscribe to Trees Are Green 7. I'm looking forward to checking out Trees Are Green 7's services. That way I'll come on their show too. Trees Are Green, tell me something about yourself so I can tell the audience about you besides that you in London. What else can we tell you about you? What else would you like people out here to know? And that you are live and that you're not AI. So what else would you like to be known? Appreciate all the people that are taking this vote. This is really good. This is really making my day. I wanted to come up here on a Monday, and this is really therapeutic. I'm very passionate about becoming a streamer. Okay. What else are you passionate about? You passionate about tea or food or passionate about Manchester or Liverpool or soccer or anything? Or are you passionate about any music? You passionate about arts? That is very important. One of the things is that you meet some incredible souls that come through said channels. That they happen to have great conversation, like minded. It's very informative. I've learned a lot. I've met some incredible souls through here. Incredible. Okay. I watched that game the other day, and the soccer, the YouTubers against that was good. What's up, Will? What's up? Glad you on here. I didn't think I was gonna ever see you again, especially a Sixer fan. And I did see that video about Dak Prescott. Was at the engagement party with his fiance, and them girls was trolling him, talking about EAGLES. I cracked up. He got trolled. I thought about you. Every time I see something, yeah, that's true. That's good. Yeah, you got some parks. Y'all definitely got some parks. I mean, I like the parks I seen. Yeah, that was. I saw Logan. Logan was playing on the field. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Watched it. Please continue to hit these likes up. Please hit up, hit up, hit up. Glad to have people up in here. And let's keep it going. Come on, Will, do some hollering at me. I know you're in here. I know you got something to say. I know you got something to say. Looking forward to what people got to say today. Come on now. Don't get shy on me now. Looking forward to conversation today. See what we talking about, what we talking about, what we talking about. People getting quiet today. That was really, 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 really. Okay, now. So what we talking about? Can't go quiet on me now. This is the thing though. People don't say nothing, then I will cut this short because I want to make sure that we have a conversation that we are, you know, telling them what's going on. So feel free. See people kind of crawling around. I just want to see what kind of stuff we talking about. Yeah, I did the video. You know what I said. And I don't respect Stephen A. Smith for not standing as a journalist. You know, there's a difference between being a parent and then actually doing your job. LeBron wants everybody to kiss the ring and say, oh, yeah, his son can't play on a professional level. That's just the bottom line. He's 2 years away from maybe being a good bench player. I didn't say next year, I said 2 years. You think that if Victor Wemby is still learning the game, what do you think is for Bronny James? Let's just use some common sense, shall we? Can we just use that? Can we just use that? You know, was a man when he played coming into the league. Bronny's not in the same. It's not the same. You know, it's not the same. And it's growing pains, and it takes real work. If Bronny James had a played and what have you, they're not in no playoff contending team. Let's just keep it 100. Bronny would have been better off playing in Portland or something, if you want my honest opinion. Probably playing for the worst team in the league would have done him justice. You need some humble pie. So it's not a good look. But yeah, I did the video. Let's put it out there. Anyway, no, no. The refs help if they don't get help from the refs and teams don't be hurt. There's only way they can do the real shot is if there is what you mean strength, and it was there for me all along. And I did a video today where I think that the battle between him and Jokic could go on for a while. I think they're the most compelling two stories going right now, to be honest with you. The Lakers' problem is that when teams can get them on the perimeter and get them in the box, that's where they're going to get exposed. Teams that know how to play defense can force Luca to be a ball handler. Because actually, to be honest with you, I'm going to say something that's a hot take. Luca is more of a liability on offense than he is on defense because he dribbles too much and he cradles that rock. If they don't sit back there and let him whine and explore the shots, because if you make him put the ball on the ground and you have to rotate, then you can pick his pockets like Jalen Brown did. They don't have a point guard. That's what the Lakers. They trying to be all cute with him and Braun. Paul, you know, telling you, play against a team that can run you at the perimeter and then get you in easy transition. They in trouble. That's what happened the other night against Boston. You asked me to have a real shot to win. How they look against Boston for 3 quarters? Because only because Boston shoots 99 threes and let the guard down, that game was not close at all. They got handled. And it wasn't because LeBron got hurt. They got handled. They can't beat no team like that. Oh, yeah. Well, the Jokic problem is that he wouldn't. You see, the thing about it is this: he's not. I love his game, and I think he's one of the great. He can definitely him and Giannis are in that could be moving up to that teens, 15 to 25 greatest players ever when it's all said and done with what they've accomplished. But to get to that next level, you got to win a couple more rings. You got to do it, and you got to be more dominant. And that ain't kicked in yet, so I can't lift him. SGA is the most underappreciated guy who's gonna win an MVP that I'm gonna say more than Iverson and Derrick Rose because he's putting them he keeps getting better and they act like they treating him for granted. They're trying to find ways to dis hate because he plays in Oklahoma. That's all it is. Oh, I know what they're doing, and I like Jokic a lot, but no, you got to win. But you got to be more of a dominant team. He's not been running. The team is not a reflection of everything. He wouldn't be able to handle Prime Shaq. Because Dwight Howard still be talking trash about him. He's better now than he was when Dwight was going against him. But the kind of three-headed monsters they could throw his way with a coach that knows how to get at Jokic, you make him put the ball on the ground, and actually you want him to post. You don't want him to stand on top of the key. He'd have to be a different player. I don't know if it would work because he doesn't really repost much. So I don't know if that would work. The reason why Shaq and Gasol were Gasol had a fadeaway, but he was in the bank in the paint. Jokic doesn't camp out and he doesn't box you, so I don't know. You're looking at what his offensive talents are, but to be in Phil Jackson's system and rotate, fluctuate, and dribble and move, I don't know. I don't know because Jokic moves around and shoots so many fadeaways. It's hard to be a guy when Kobe was best with a low post dominant presence. That's just what got him going. So Jokic doesn't do that a whole lot. See, you need you asked me a question with Jokic and Jason Kidd. I could tell you that would be more successful. Jokic with the Steve Nash guys that were mobile guards in and out. But to play with a guy like Kobe, you have to pretty much be set forth and match. And I think they would butt heads because Jokic doesn't bang. He doesn't bang. Aaron Gordon is there to do the banging. I watch how they play. I watch how they set their sets up in Denver. Jokic gets a lot more of the kick and the fade and the spread formation, but there's a reason why teams get buckets on them in the paint. That's not their strength. That's why I can't put them with no Shaq and no Bill Russell and Will Chamberlain and Kareem. Because you got to dominate the board, yo. So that's the problem. Dr. J at his peak. I'm starting Dr. J. Bench LeBron and cut Kawhi. That's it. However, Kawhi Leonard had played his career out and not been like we had really got the whole lot, it would have been Dr. J starting, Kawhi bench, and LeBron could. Because I do believe if Kawhi Leonard played at his totality, I saw that shot last night where he threw that left hand shot in last night, and I know he got. he just frustrating because he don't, you know. So, but Dr. J starting over both of them. Dr. J was incredible. Yeah, I'm starting Dr. J. Heck yeah. Did you see the you asked at the peak was his ABA years, and he was more dominant. He was. Because if you go by his ABA years compared to LeBron starting the NBA, he had already won rings. He was in finals. He just didn't have the right center when he was doing his thing. That's the only thing. He came in as an MVP. He was a dominant player. People don't understand how great Dr. J was. And it took LeBron about a good decade almost before he got an outside shot that was legit. I can say that because as a Heat fan in that finals 2013, there was no respect for his outside shot. So he was already 10 years into his career. That's not true. I said I'd start him, bench him. I'd bench him behind Dr. J. It's just a Dr. J. Well, okay. The Cowboys suck, okay? Yeah. Your quarterback talks in Delulu about that they're not that far from the Eagles when they've been to two Super Bowls with three different quarterbacks, and they got a situation where you can't even make no conversation. You can't make this up. The Sixers stunk this year. That's an embarrassment because I used to like the Sixers growing up back in the day. That's embarrassing. Your season was over before it started, yo. Podcast P, Joel Embiid, everybody sitting in street clothes. Tobias Harris is averaging more points than three or four of your guys combined right now. So what am I supposed to do with that? The Cowboys season was over with by halfway point. If LeBron doesn't pull in that trade to get Luka, they're done. Well, they got DK Metcalf. They ain't gonna do nothing. Ain't gonna do nothing. Let him go there. I mean, Mike Tomlin is like becoming like a old folks resting retirement home for has been quarterback. So sure, why not? Lost to him in the Super Bowl, can't beat him, join him, or whatever. Aaron Rodgers ain't gonna do nothing. He gonna give you a half, about 5 or 6 games, and get his feelings hurt. And he was in the inner AFC East, which he had aside from Josh Allen. He should have been the second best quarterback in that division. All due respect to Tua, and he wasn't. So what's he gonna do in the NFC North, AFC North, when Joe Burrow is better and it's not up for discussion? Lamar is better. It's not for this. So again, you know, this time it's even worse because in the quarterback hierarchy, you're gonna be probably third because Cleveland sucks. So anything come up. So yeah, third best and a distant third at that because Burrow and Lamar are head and shoulders above you at this stage. At least in the AFC East, you were second by default, but then you turn into be just putrid. So yeah, Devontae Adams went to the Rams. That's a good move. Yeah, he been hanging on the rim. He had a nasty dunk. His mama was in the stands. I saw. I don't really keep up with stuff because college basketball until I get to the March Madness, I really don't. It's not the same. They beat up on Carolina. I saw that. I'm out of the loop right now. I really don't have no interest. I mean, when Bronny James can get all the attention for getting drafted 55 last year, do you really think I'm gonna care about who's in college? I've been knowing about Cooper Flack though for a couple of years though, but I don't know what his NBA prospects will be like. I don't think he'll come in and be any better than Connect is for the Lakers. Yeah, I saw that. And he's a good down the field receiver. I'm glad he's actually getting a chance at this stage, but I don't know if he wants to be a hired hand though. It didn't work out with the Jets, so but him and Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay should be an interesting situation. So we'll see. Yeah, Duke. Yeah. Like, please keep these likes up. Keep on hitting it. Got more views today, so thank you. free to come on through. Feel free to converse. See what's on the agenda, what's happening, what's happening. Now, it's not that you do catch a break from me. It's just that I don't like those particular teams. I saw it. I just got through talking about he hit with that left hand. I saw it. I was having that flashbacks. He could be one dude who could throw a wrench in everything if he's healthy and motivated. People forgot how good he is. I still think he's got one foot out the door though. But anyway, keep on hitting the likes and the hit it up, hit it up, hit it up. I saw him last night. I saw that. If he can get healthy, he needs time to heal. It's there for him to take over. The problem is that they need a point guard. They need to play some interior defense, and they need to hope their bench is all right. And once he doesn't have LeBron, and they can get themselves a hands on an Anthony Edwards, then that's when I think they're gonna be problematic. Maybe that's what they're waiting on. To build a team around him, you need a legit point guard. You need someone that can swing, be a slash. You know, and Anthony Edwards would be just what I think they go after. I don't really think because the him and LeBron thing is a very strange mix and match, and I could see some problems arriving. Just saying. Yeah, because they play team ball. And Jared Allen went off last night. I watched. I saw that. Donovan Mitchell is like playing with a loaded deck right now. They, hey, getting Hunter was a smart move. They're gonna be a handful. They are playing like a team that was poised to win. So they don't lose much. They're pretty poised. Boston's got to play its best ball. The team that's winning is coming out the East though. That's the fact. I believe, unless of course OKC goes, then that may be a different ball game. Because then I think Shea's got a chance. Cleveland, Boston, OKC is the best I see this year. Jokic's play has been great, but they're not really blowing me away as a team. So anyway, please keep on hitting the likes, hitting the subscribe. See what we got. Let's see what time it is. We are on. We're live. So anybody got anything they want to say? Let me know. 13 votes. So that's pretty good. The votes are pretty good. 62% saying no. Let's see what we got. All right. Looking to see if we see anybody coming through. What's happening? How you doing, TSP? Thank you for showing up. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you. Your timing is perfect. I'm on here for another half hour, so got some questions. Let's do it. Appreciate you coming through. I need some, all the conversations. Let's do it. We got some good questions. See what people want to talk about. How's your day going? Let me know what's happening, what's happening, what's happening. Feel free to chime on in. I wouldn't have no problem with that at all. I have no problem with that at all. I've said that, 1, 2, and 3 as far as I'm concerned, with Giannis getting a fourth distance. But I've said that. But to me, is his to win. Yeah, well, they old kind of now. I saw Beverly Hills Cop 4 and I saw the George Foreman movie. Watching Eddie Murphy go through the motions is kind of like the Foreman movie was all right. I had already known about his stuff. It was all right. So I'm not really most of the stuff I'm seeing ain't really happening. I don't really get excited with most of the movies out now. So that was about it. What about yourself? Donovan Mitchell will not finish second. That's gonna be Jokic. We in this world that we create, he's in the argument. But in the regular world, they're not gonna give him no love, despite being on the best team in the East and playing. Got the same numbers as LeBron practically. Yeah, if he was in New York or he was in LA or Chicago or something with his numbers, he would definitely get more love than SGA. They don't like SGA. Donovan would, but because he plays in Cleveland, they ain't get that love. Joker just needs us. He's missing the right teammate. That's what's hurting his cause at this stage. They want him to have it, but they know he can't. So I had something there. That's what's up. They want him to have it though. Don't get it twisted. He got to win. If he can win 2 more rings and does, then he moves up. That's where I got. That's where I'm at with Joker. So that's what's up. Okay, let's see what we got real quick. It's all about. Well, see, they're trying to do it like selective, like baseball. In terms of the poker, can you expect that? Yeah. Well, the country has turned into something that it's very divisive. It's always been divisive, but it's really showing its true head. Yeah, but it's funny the NBA. If you're not on a team that they can respect, that's the logic now. I agree with your thesis and assessment. The state leaves a lot to be desired these days. Still things we don't even know about that's going on. Yeah, I was thinking about doing a video about that. That's why I can't feel for him. He's hard to embrace. I'm gonna do a video about that. Thank you for reminding me. I was contemplating, do I actually want to touch that? Because I thought, man, you sound like the biggest crackhead I know. And, you know, the fans are dumb. They're wasting their time with this garbage. That's true. I will give him this. That's one of the reasons why I don't really waste a lot of time watching live games no more, because I know how it's going to turn out. So he is not far off. What they are putting out there as far as product. Now listen, I'm gonna give Shea his due. I'm gonna give Cleveland their due. I'm gonna give the ones that I see that play hard. So I like what OKC do. Jokic, I can respect how he play. I can respect. But when you are looking at that crap that goes for All Star games, and you look at the fact that guys don't really want to be there, guys load management don't want to play, want to pal around and be all teamed up with everybody, and don't really, you know, yeah, it is the fans who are paying them. I got no problem with yeah, because it is the fans' fault they tolerate such ineptness from people like him, who's a waste. So I agree. Hmm. Because him and Draymond are just like two stooges. Hey, how you doing? What's happening? How you doing? Doing good. Glad you came through. Thank you. You sit around, you badmouth. You never saw people do that back in the day. They would get mad if the fans made some remarks that were disparaging, or they said something vile, not based on what they're seeing. The fans just don't like the quality, because it's like you guys too. And he is embarrassing himself the more he talks. He done tried this bootleg big three in Brooklyn and now in Phoenix, and this has been embarrassing. And he don't shut up, and he's like the last one to get it. Yes, you can still score your obligatory 27 points a game, your 30 plus thousand points, and that, but you can't win nothing. No one's afraid of Durantula, whatever name you're going by in your burner accounts. Nobody's worried about you. You're just a guy that once upon a time was way up there in the echelons, and you're still going to be considered a great player, but you ain't going to be the guy that you were. So, yeah. Doesn't want to be responsible for when they lose. Just like LeBron doesn't want they crying and moaning. So I got nothing to do about it. Um, I'm gonna address that. It wasn't always the case, because you had the Celtics and the Lakers. The Jordan six ring thing somehow became a standard. They overlooked Kareem's six rings, and they made excuses. They made it sound like that was the magical holy grail. The disrespect to Bill Russell. But it was always just winning a ring or two. It wasn't that you had to win multiple. So it did hurt the league in the sense that there was this push that you had to win a bunch and everything like that. You couldn't win one or two and be great. And then people started to. I am since that. I'm since that. There would have been a time when Oscar Robinson's ring held up against almost anybody because he was a great all around player. Now, guys, it's talking. You got to win two and three rings. So it's like, hmm, that has hurt it. Wilt Chamberlain, the knock. Now, that is a great example. As great as he was all around player, he just lost to a better team in Bill Russell's dominance. There is truth that it has worked against it. And now you get people who say that Shaq underachieved and didn't win enough. I mean, listen what they say. They act like Michael Jordan had 18 rings and Shaq had two. I mean, that's the point. Can you win? Well, when are you supposed to win? Because there is no set in stone that you're guaranteed to win. And people have taken it to mean and win at all costs. That's the logic that they've pushed out there. They pushed out how many rings can you get? That's what Kobe did when he passed Shaq with one. He said, "I got five, I got one." That's what people put out. Now Tim Duncan, Maria Mysterio said his five rings don't really count as much for some people. He got the same amount of rings as Kobe and Magic Johnson, and you never hear him get his love. So make it make sense. It's so much politics involved. So it's not fair. So it takes people to say, hey, you know, what's your standards? But there has been used as a means to, you know, it has been used as a means. I probably will do that Kevin Durant video I'm gonna do. Oh yeah. I remember Bob Costas once said about Jordan. He said the greatest and the most overrated player. Curry's curse is that it doesn't allow him to showcase how dynamic a player he truly is. He got a wicked left hand. His assist game is nice. And if it was just two ball predominantly, he'd still be at 20 plus thousand points. To me, he is. He's being taken for granted. He better than Iverson's MVP year and Derrick Rose. Because only Rose had more dimes in him. But when you watch how SGA plays defense too, did you see the game against Boston when he got up on that window against Tatum? He had leaps. I mean, he's been playing better and better. He's put me in the frame of mind of James Harden because he keeps getting better every year, which is scary. I don't think people are really watching where he could go. Yeah, Steph Curry gets because don't understand he can handle the rock. He can go hard with his left. He can post. He's done in out post, shift, move around. So he's not a one trick pony. It's just that that three ball is everything that people come to associate with him. But think about the spacing that you have to go through the wear and tear. You know, he's in some kind of incredible conditioning and regime. So that's where I'm coming from. Win a ring and the league MVP. If he wins it all this year, I will say he's better than KD and OKC because KD didn't do it. He won the MVP, but and he had Russell, and he had a James Harden, Serge Ibaka. Now they got a good squad on OKC. They got size and length, but I don't know if anybody on this OKC team is Durant, West. One of them guys, no, and a James Harden off the bench, no. So he wins it all the way through. Yeah, that's all he has to do because we didn't see KD's peak and prime in OKC. We actually caught that in Golden State. Well, if they had played like they supposed to, but the problem was they didn't finish him off in Game Five, and of course Clay Thompson came up big, and then you know the rest. It's mental weakness. I think if they win that, history's different, and that's one of the problems with KD. He's had opportunities to really go into another level, and he didn't. I didn't really know if I thought it was over, but I because I thought Golden State let a game get by. Well, what I think the difference between him and LeBron James is that he knows how to utilize people and components. You see, he knows how to get
Oh,
to get
is
the
there
to
something
get the
else I can
ego
help with?
to get the ego out. You know, when you can allow Draymond to be Draymond, and you can manipulate different components, he knows how to make people thrive and strive. It's a system. He really is a point guard because he really understands how to utilize in people's strengths and how to get them going. You know, LeBron would not have tolerated Buddy Hield this long. LeBron would have been all on Wiggins, frustrated by Clay. Steph put that thing compartmentalized. That's the difference. So, but one thing with the NBA, you can always come back. Usually. So, yeah, if they play defense, if they don't play around, if everybody's healthy, I mean, they're not gonna play. Now Cleveland is not the Lakers, so you ain't gonna be picking pockets like that. They play teams they can pick pockets on and they can defend, and then Tatum goes off and Jalen Brown. I'll tell you something. He is wild. If he's playing that loose, free safety, he's like Troy Polamalu out there because he's free safety and he's snatching pockets and hanging on the rim. You in trouble. You in trouble. But if you get them you lure them into, you seduce them into trying to shoot, and you keep your turnovers. You don't let Porzingis, you don't let Pritchard get going. You got a chance. Cleveland is the best hope, but I think OKC could take them. But Boston can repeat. Joe Mazzulla know how to coach. Joe Mazzulla can coach, so they could repeat. They could, and they should too because they got the best duo I think going. They should be able to get 2 or 3 runs out of him. But if they don't, then everybody's gonna come looking at Jason Tatum funny. He is, but this price he doesn't have any personality. You see, if he had Tatum's vibe to go along with what Jalen Brown does with the game, you'd have the better player than Paul Pierce already, and then Larry Bird would be circling next. Because then you'd have a Boston player that'd be top 13, 14 ever, and he's gonna win himself a league championship, a league MVP, and so on. But see, they both are like peanut butter and jelly, and that's the problem. So that's what I find is the problem. Yeah, he's the business minded brother. You know, it's they're play off of each other. 1 or 2. I say 1 or 2 because he never had a guy that was that good that he played with. I watched the Hawks back then. Doc Rivers was a pretty good guard. Tree Rollins was big, strong, but didn't do nothing. John Battle, they didn't have a team that really gave him a chance. So Scotty when Scotty says that, even though he's trolling, he is the in between dude that if you put his styling, it could have made Wilkins win 1 or 2. Because Dominique was just missing a guy that got, especially in that series against Boston. That one series, I see it 1 or 2 because Neek to me was lethal, but he never had a sidekick or anybody that could take his game to another level. I believe he gets in the finals one or two times, he can win one or two rings. I give him that. But I don't want to blow up Scotty's head and act like Scotty, because then there's another factor. Depends on who they're playing against. Depends on the stylings. But I think he could win. I wanted to. As far as winning it all, I'd maybe one or two. The only reason why I still stick to the one or two part is because the East was tougher to come out of. No, remember with the Clippers in '94, he led the league in scoring. Remember, he had that 30-point average after he had tore his ACL. So if you could come out the East back then, you could win one or two. Remember, if the Pistons, if Isaiah don't throw that pass to Bird, that's four straight trips to the finals, and they went to three straight finals and won two. That's why I'm saying he could have won one or two. I still don't what I said. He just never had nobody to play with. Now I'm not gonna sit here and say that. I'm not gonna sit here and say that he was, better than Jordan because Jordan was a better all-around player. But if you give him, if you give him a chance, he's got a chance to go. Yeah, the pass was we're going backwards, which was kind of yeah. The pass went backwards. Yeah, you got Scotty about more season with Neek. They got a chance to win one or two. Because if you think about it, in the West, Houston's the only one. Houston and San Antonio won rings. That was it. And if we play in that totality, no, no. Jordan needed somebody that was like a counter to him. Nick was more ball dominant and the way he played. So you'd have to have someone that could defer. So no, I don't think that would have worked with Jordan and Nick because Nick didn't have an outside J like that. Yeah, Hank Gathers, and he shot it with his left hand. Yeah, a very sad story. I remember him. They work together because they again, and this is let me cut to the chase, the elephant in the room if I can. Phil Jackson's triangle wasn't for everybody. Do you really think Dominique Wilkins could have played in the triangle? Because you got to really think about that. He was used to being vertical, horizon, and windmill, and the way he played. He didn't have to. He didn't have a set style, so I don't know how he would have flourished in the triangle. I'd have to see him utilizing his left hand, his right hand, playing with off the rock, screens, picks, curls, all that. He wasn't Bernard King, and I love Nick a whole lot. Nick was one of my favorite players coming along, but it wasn't like he was busting your butt with a Carmelo J. Yeah, he shot that ball left-handed when he his last shot. So that's the question. Could Nick have made it in there? To answer your question, because you got to remember when you ask these questions, like when we'll ask the question, right? Think about Phil Jackson, the triangle offense. Think about the complexities. Let me get into my wheelhouse real quick. And when you gave me that shout out TSP, this is why I talk about when I go live because you bring up a good point I want to touch. Like him, and you see the limitations. Can score though, average 30 points a game and get some boards and assists, but he wasn't what we call a focal point for structure. And guys like that are dangerous because they can go off. But when you put them with a structuralized coach, they look like one dimensional. And then when we have debates about how great they were, yeah, talent, great numbers, etc., right? But when I put them up against peer to peer against the guys that were better, And let me give you an example. I'll give you a great example of what I'm making about the Jordan and Dominique argument. It's kind of like when I put Kobe up against Vince Carter, and Vince was more skilled than I think Nick was, but he didn't have that other instinct, that wire to put that together. And if you put that in a structure with a coach like Phil Jackson, it's going to embarrass you. So this is what I like to do live. I don't say this in videos because videos you gotta get it in 4, 5, 6 minutes. When I'm here live, you asking me these questions, I can go more detail. So I hope this helps what I'm trying to say because you have to have when you're coached by a certain type of coach and a style, y'all gotta blend. If y'all don't blend, it can be a disaster. That's why some of this stuff don't work. That's why you see some great players who don't work with certain coaches. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. That's that's the reason why when Jay Will asked that question, I said, yeah, Pippen goes to him in Atlanta. I think Scotty's style travels well because remember he did have success in Portland. You know, they had playoff situation, and it depends on what they're coming out of. But it depends on who your coach is. It depends on your structure. You got you know, everybody can't be coached by the same guy, and everybody doesn't travel well with the structure. One of the reasons that makes LeBron James work is because he ain't never really had a structured coach. And when you have a structured coaches, there's certain things they won't go for, certain things they will go for, but you got to find the right cohesiveness to make that thing work. Mark Jackson saw what the Splash Brothers could be. If he wins it all, then he's sitting in the 20 to 26 slot. He would be ahead of Ray Allen, and he'd be neck and neck, maybe near Dwayne Wade. That's how big that would have been. Because one ring, and with his success and with his impact, he could have. Because he, then you can take the New York series, you take all that. If he won it all, he'd move up higher because he would have beaten. Think about it. He beats that Bulls team and he goes to Stockton Malone, or he beats that Shaq situation. Yeah, he'd be top 20. Are you kidding? Because then he'd be looking like an innovator. He'd be a precursor to Steph for real. Think about it. Look at it's the dynamics of who you beat. Eyeball test. That's what I'm going by. I know what you're getting at, but I'm talking about who he beat. Because think about it. If he's in the considered top 50 or top 75, well, what was it? Because of that against New York. Remember? With Spike Lee and that whole thing in 94. That alone, for some, and plus he hit big shots and came through, has got him dangling somewhere between 48 and 61 right now. Beat that Bulls team or beat that Lakers team and go off and win it all. He goes 40 notches upward. So, and that does carry weight. That does carry weight. People do use it. That's how LeBron James is tries to make his argument because he beat a 73-10 team in Golden State, 73-9. That's his whole criteria 3-1. That's why he be boasting. Beating the Spurs, beating Golden State. That's his boast. Think about it. Yeah, but since he didn't do it, he's like probably in my 48 to about 62 range. And Ray Allen was better than him too, so just saying. But if he had a beaten, yeah, he wins out against Utah, and he beats Shaq and them. Oh, and he beats Kobe on the come up. Oh yeah, he's one of them. He's one of them. He's one of them. The reason why he gets more attention for it is because he's 4-6 in the finals and the 500. So like, if you ain't even 500 and you can politic this good, and you got people not even looking. Dwight. Dwight. Reggie just got the shot, but Dwight had more to work with. Dwight was a defensive player of the year, and Dwight was more of a threat. The problem with Reggie, he was a one trick pony. He was good. Some people don't think he Hall of Fame worthy. Some people debate that because they think he was a one trick pony. There's a lot of politics involved. He got some Diddy agenda in him. He was considered silly, and God of cats didn't respect him. And they think he could have been better than he was. He can actually shoot a 3 pointer now. He didn't do that when he played with James Harden. He had opportunity. He got Orlando to the finals. He got to play with Kobe and them. That's stunk. Went with Houston with James Harden, and a lot of stuff was just silly. And that's the knock against him. Just seen as a corny goofball who didn't utilize his skill set. I didn't make it up, but I kind of looked at him kind of goofy though. I'm not gonna lie, and not in a cool way. So that's what's worked against him. Had he been on his game, people look at him a little bit differently. Yeah, Melo part. I listen. When we talk about Melo and Leonard, they just scored a lot of points. Melo had a chance, and he was that studio thug dude that, but it just he ended up rocking 30 different uniforms, and I forgot all about him. And once he got past 25,000 points, nobody cared. So he just was cool in the clique, but it was more. It was welcome. And as far as Dame, yeah, I mean, he's one of them. I won't say the most overrated ever, but he's up there though. But I forgot all about him though. I don't know about that because T Mac never had that next level. Talent was there, but he never had the next level. I don't know. I was a big fan of T Mac, but he just seemed like a deer in headlights sometimes. I think the Duncan thing would have been interesting. That would have been the more compelling thing to me. Because they were boasting about him and Yao Ming, and that didn't really work. And Yao had a better outside game than Dwight. Dwight was a better defender and was more conditioned, but just saying. They did. They did. The last great duo on a whole level. Yeah, well, again, T Mac was never that dude. His skill set, just see, you gotta remember, we talking skills and as a overall play. They're two different things at work. It's two different things. People get it mixed up. They think because you got skills that you complete, and it's not the case. So people get it mixed up all the time. I remember Meadow was playing good in Houston. You know, they just didn't have no depth. That's all. Well, Shaq had to win because he was doing everything else and he had the hype. So the pressure was on, and you had the right coach, the right, you know, and that was the key. He came from that last year where you had to win to cement your place. So that was a different thing. Kobe had that program. I want to get it done. T Mac just didn't have that mindset. That's all. And that's one of the things why when people have discussions and debate, he doesn't get his due. Right. Yeah, he had a better outside shot, and that's what hurts Dwight Howard. He had no offensive game. He didn't have a one-step drop. If he could have been even half of y'all, I mean, we have a different discussion with him. He didn't score enough. Okay. Please continue to hit them likes. Appreciate everybody coming through. He was good. I mean, I liked him in spurts, but he wasn't a finisher though. He did good in spurts. Could have been better. Could have been better. So good, but not great though. I thought he had a nice outside shot and had a good touch, and his defense was good against Shaq. He played well. He got ate up by Duncan though. And Kobe flushed on him. You know, he one of those guys. He had injuries. He had a good career. Could have been better. Just saying. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say right there. Yeah, that's how I look at it. But not the hype that he got all the All Star votes and all that. No, he ain't Shohei Tani. See, that's what people trying to ask me. No, he wasn't that dude. He was good. He wasn't quite next level. Yeah, yeah. That's exactly how I describe it. But believe me, if he was the second coming of somebody like that, they would have been trying to boast, and no one is gonna come at you and say he's one of the 12 greatest NBA centers ever. That ain't gonna happen. Ori, because Sean Elliott actually was a starter. Sean Elliott came through in that river dance that against Portland, and that's it. Sean Elliott for the transplant and everything could play, he could shoot. See, Ori is third option all the way because you're not really geared for what he can do, and he just hits you in the burst. So his was a specialist, but Sean Elliott was more of a could be a second option. Ori was usually like after the fact. I would too. I would too. It's not even fair to put the two together because Sean Elliott could come up, but Ori is one of those utility guys. You can't even put that in definition. The spark he was. The thing about it is that she don't want to admit it. They let Robert Ory get him in Game 5 with that dunk and all that. And see, that's the thing they don't want to admit. They don't want to admit it. We saw it. And I love she too, but she should be embarrassed of himself for that. Because you got to remember when Robert Ory's on the court, you got to treat him like he is a top tier guy. You got to put two on him. He beat you in so many ways with subtle moves he does. And he flushed on him. So that's a good call there. Mm-hmm. You have to be to come into a game and understand the smartest thing he ever did to me though was against that Phoenix series though, when he played the bowling ball and rolled them pins and got them guys to get off the bench, and then of course you remember David Stern was suspending them in alphabetical order, and that cost them game 6 and 7. And Popovich winked and nodded; they were getting blowed out. That was the smartest move. That talk about IQ, because they got suspended, and that threw their rhythm off. And you know Phoenix didn't want to play no half court game. Caught they butt off. That to me is the most gangsterous situation I've ever seen in postseason ball in any sport, and that's more lethal. The Draymond LeBron thing, which was hokey, but that thing, that's all true, Jay Will. But guess what? He came up big when it mattered the most. He wasn't going to be a guy that you're going to necessarily see regular season or see him do this or that, but it's the totality of what he could do when it was crunch time. You'd have to like really appreciate him in the moments when he would come in, like what he did for the Lakers against the Sixers. Those moments, he just had those moments. He just came in and understood what his task was, and he got hot. He was instantaneous. He was like turn on a hot water faucet and be ready to start rolling. And those guys looked up to him. So it's kind of hard for some people to digest him because they just see him as a one trick pony. Would say, and I got through saying that Reggie Miller knocking it, but Ori's situation was completely different. Robert Ory is like Mariano Rivera. That's the best way I would describe it. He was the closer. Two different styles because with Houston they played more of a guard spread formation. And the thing about it is if you watch Kenny, Cassell, or Ellie, they were cornermen. They'd be perfect for the day. Rudy T was doing what you see today. Long distance rebound volleyball, and that's what the spread was. In LA, the triangle. That's what you so again, answer what you saying. Yeah, Phil Jackson's triangle. It didn't allow for a lot of back volley and a lot of that kind of motion. Even when Jordan and Pippen ran the triangle, it still was like with Tex Winter, it was still more calculated maneuvering. Big difference. Big difference. Because those two different styles. You're not going to look the same in Rudy T's offense as you are in Fields. That's one reason why Rudy T and Kobe didn't work out. It's a different style. Two different styles of running offense. Yeah, because he came up big in the fourth quarter, and that was his money time to shine. It's just that he hit different with different people. That's all. And you play with the Rockets and you play with the Lakers, you're going to notice it. Now, to see, let me tell you something. If we're talking in the 90s OO's eyes, you'll see what I'm talking about. If you're looking at today, you'd be like, how come you can't do that? But that's all. That great points because what he would do is that his rhythm and cadence he wasn't a bulky bully dude. So you had to go on the perimeter and catch him. And they kept back taps, they kept moving in consciousness. Whereas those guys were more standstill remote. So that's what made him so frustrating. But even when he played against teams that could run, his size, he could post you up, take you to the hole. So there's ways he could beat you. And he was like a quarterback out there too. So there's a lot of ways that you could not prepare for his style of basketball. So he got utilized differently in different places. That's what it comes down to, basically. And again, he was a mismatch in an era where people were looking for guys to be a certain way. You know, so He used it to his advantage. Smart man. Yeah, because he always had guys constantly rotating. Even though it was modern with the way they were shooting, the way they shot threes and shooting, it was still more rotation. That's what made Elijah work. Appreciate you, TSP. Thank you for stopping by, man. Appreciate everything you've done. Appreciate your work and you're a real one. And thank you for coming through. Thank you so much. By the way, if anybody want to know out there, I'm just letting people know that I'm also going to be posting sometimes over on Substack. So I'm bringing some of my stuff over to Substack. So if you see me over there, holla. But anyway, there's gonna be some stuff over there. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that though. That's what made Ori get around. And great take on it, TSP, because it's true. People don't understand how he could play with and without the ball, which made him work real well from Rudy T to field style, but it was done differently. It was very rhythmic, but it was a different nature. And of course, with Popovich, he was movement. They did a lot of movement and shifts. So, yeah. All right. Okay. Anybody out there? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. We got quite a bit of chat in here today. So, anybody still talking? Let me say something. Say something. Say something. Votes have been good. Views have been cool. I'll see if anybody else comes through. I got a few minutes. So. If I don't hear nothing, I'll give it a couple more minutes and then I'll call it a day. Appreciate everybody coming through today. So I'll give it a few more minutes. Why does the 96 because they came after the original Dream Team, that's why. And there was so much romanticism with the Dream Team, that's why. I mean, and it's no diss, but think about it, right? If you saw the first or something, it's hard to get excited about the second. It's kind of like I gotta think of something good. Let me think. Say for instance, you got a chance to get your favorite dessert, and it was nothing like the first time, and you come back the next day, or you come back the next day, maybe an hour later, and it don't quite. It's great, but it's not quite the way it hit you the first time. That's kind of how it was, and plus you had the aura of the Dream Team. You had Jordan and Magic and Bird. That was the last you were gonna see of Bird and Magic together. Mm, I don't think so. Because I think when you put him, Bird, and Magic, that was the focal point. That was the end of an era. See, imagine if he had actually stayed retired after 93. And if you stay retired after 93, and you know Magic did come back, but it was ill fated. But they body goes out when they go out, that's the end of an era. So it's more romanticized. So you had Patrick Ewing, Carl Malone, Stockton were coming in their own. So that's what I'm saying. But he was enough to get through there. Yeah, Barkley that was still gonna go to finals another year. But it was like the first time you had a collection of guys that were, it was the names, you know. So it was a big deal. That's why. And the names carry crazy weight. So it wouldn't have really made a difference in '96 because it was after the thought. He made the name for it when he went. So that's what made it so special. And those guys were at the end of their career, but good enough to dominate. And they were still far ahead, but it was the first time that because of the politics involved that it could make it a star-studded event. It's kind of like trying. Let me give you an example. It's like trying to recreate "We Are the World" again, part two. Once you saw it the first time, you could try and get a better lineup or get this or that, but it wasn't the same. The '96 bigs were better. It would have been an interesting battle. So, all right. So let's see what we got real quick. Just waiting for conversation to kick on in. See what we're working with. No, they all won. They were all league MVPs. They all had some form of dominance. If I put his college career, then yeah. If I included his college career with his NBA career, he's ahead of, except for Moses would be, but I can't do that. He's behind him. Moses was more dominant. Jokic is getting to play in an area where he can showcase more. And Dave Robinson was one of those guys that, because he came up so big in the finals and different things, so now I like Patrick, but I can't put him at that table. Hold on just a second. Okay, I am back. now. I had to take that on. If you can hear me, give me a one. Had to put on mute. If you're still there, let me see. All right, I am back. So I just saw your one. Okay, saw your one. Got your one. Got your one. Got your one. Okay, I am back. Give me one if you can hear me. Um, Great duo. It's just unfortunate. Jerry West is getting the bulk of being better of the two. That's the sad part. Baylor doesn't get acknowledged at all. Unless you talk to like Oscar Robinson or real NBA aficionado, Baylor took the brunt of not getting his due. That's the answer to your question because most people look at West and Chamberlain, they don't even give Baylor his due. I hate to say it, that's kind of how it is. Baylor's the forgotten man, aside from when Oscar Robinson or people who respected them. So you ask a question, I have to tell you. Elgin Baylor is kind of like the forgotten man. West gets the bulk, of course, but yeah, Baylor's forgotten almost. So that's what happens. They had they won, but again, it's one of them situations where the truth is, well, Clyde Frazier, Earl of Pearl don't get no do no love. The when they what they did in the NBA is basically put it down to centers and guards. No, he quit right before they won that year, right that year that they won. But it's just that everything in the NBA is mainly centered towards a center and a guard, if you must know. Jordan and Scotty were the exception to that. But Kareem and Magic, Shaq and Kobe, you know, it's usually a guard and a center. Usually big and small. It's like a buddy cop movie. The last dynamic duo that we saw, which didn't even really come into fruition, was what? Steph and Durant. But again, and that didn't last. And Tatum and Brown, interesting duo. They want to see Luca and LeBron. We'll see. But you really, yeah, you gotta, yeah. It's a great question. But no. And when you talk about the ones that didn't win, Stockton and Maloney's get all the attention. Weston Baylor should though. He basically followed what Isaiah Thomas did with not having a dominant big. That was hecka impressive. Because, I mean, I know if you understand the time period when he won, that was everything. You can't imagine it today. You know. Well, let me give you an example today. Steph Curry changed the course where they said you couldn't be a guard like that and win. But when Jordan played, you had to have guys in position, and so that was heck of special. Lambeer ain't that kind of dude. Lambeer was a guy that was a role player. Okay, he played on a team that had the right pieces and components, but he was not that dude. He's pretty good for what he could do outside shot. You know, he wasn't that dude. If I told you something that would blow your wig unless you didn't know, Bill Lambier wasn't even as good as Brooke Lopez. And Milwaukee doesn't utilize Brooke Lopez the right way. Brooke Lopez got climbed on last night. Who was it? Cleveland. Yeah, Jared Allen just bust on him last night. And yeah, think about that. Because Brooke Lopez was a better offensive situation than Lambier. But Lambier was a better fit for Detroit, though. Just saying. It was a different era. So for a guy to dominate as a guard in an era that was about bigs was unheard of. I mean, Magic Johnson was a 6'9" point guard, so that should kind of put you in perspective. Bird was 6'9" too, small forward. So think about it. You know, so tough era, yo, tough era, and to stand out in an era with that situation, that's a heck of a statement. He was not seen in the Patrick Ewing world. He was not seen better than Robert Parrish. He wasn't Kareem or Moses. Okay, you know, he was what we call a sturdy big, but he wasn't a guy that people were afraid of big. He wasn't seeing a prime time Bill Walton when Bill was Bill. Okay. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. But the point was, even the Pistons didn't. He wasn't even a top tier center. That's why Isaiah and Dumars, when they won and all that, they were using those guys as shields. They were using them as kind of like stand-in heads. That's what they did. They didn't have what you call a traditional post-up 20 and 10 man. That's what point I'm getting at. So yeah, no, I give him credit because he dominated and made it his game. That's what the dominant. That's the credit he gets. He changed. He it was impactful for what he did. That's what it comes down to. It's not no extra points to anything. He came in an era where you had to change the guard. They used to say you couldn't lead the league in scoring and win chips. Jordan changed that narrative. You couldn't win without a dominant low post presence. He changed that narrative. So that's where the changes came in. And then you played with small ball or almost with the guard play, which they got from Detroit. Chuck Daly had some great innovations. Tex Winter was a great, astute man who knew how to put pieces in places. So that's what that was about. So that's what we're getting at. These cats today benefit from it because there's no. Plus, you don't get knocked on your behind. That's another thing you got to take consideration. Used to get clothesline back then. So different era, yo. Different era. Different totality. Please continue to hit the like and come on through and please give me your thoughts and your comments and please hit yes. Continue, continue, continue. This is a good one because they all could start. They all could start. I think you have to bench. Tony Allen's gonna get cut because he didn't score. Drew would be number one. Bowen would be two, and Allen last. Only because the offense's works against him because he was an offensive scorer. His defense was top tier. Drew Holiday can bust your behind and score on you, defend you, so he's gonna get the start. Bowen is gonna get number two in Detroit, and I think Tony Allen might have been the most intense of the three, but because he couldn't score no points, that's why I had to let him go. I say his offense actually works against him, but you see, you gotta have offense and defense though. And Drew Holiday can bust your butt with a dagger, and he can get physical up in you. Bowen could get up on you, and he can hit those threes. That's it in a nutshell. That's why Milwaukee's struggling right now. Drew Holiday was a good two way. The Bucks lost a lot without not having him. It shows right now. That's their Achilles. I'll be on for a few more minutes, and then I got to go. Thinking about coming back either tomorrow or Wednesday. So I got one more in the week before I go to the weekend. He was, but he couldn't score no points. And see, you got to be able to do both. That's the thing. And when I think about it, he gave so much. Yeah, that was a different era. Again, they put hand checking. They let you guard up on people. Now, what the Celtics did to the Lakers the other night is they hit them pockets. That's what they do good. If they swipe you and they catch you with your ball handling, but that's the thing that teams can do. They can backpick you. You get complacent, you get comfortable. That's how they get you. But that was a different era right there. Drew Holiday to this day still gets up on you. And Bowen would get you on your feet. That was his trademark. So there's little things that they knew how to do that they could get away with. Oh, great though. Like I said before, like them all for dinner. So yeah, we'll be back in a couple days. Let me see what I got real quick. Appreciate the poll, people taking the poll and hitting the likes up. We definitely got quite some action today, so it's definitely been all good. Appreciate everybody coming through. Definitely, definitely, definitely. See what we're working with. All right, I'll pretty much give it a couple more minutes. If I don't hear anything from anyone, I will call it a day. Appreciate everybody coming through today. I've been on for nearly 2 hours a day, so I think Buddy on the block. That sounds funny. Okay. Got a couple minutes, so we'll see what's up. And then Kelsey, you can watch this again. Eventually, I'll put this on the podcast and you can watch it again. So appreciate when it came through. Just checking everything out. So I'll call it a day in a couple minutes. Feel free to throw me a message or something if you hit the like or what have you. And you got requests, let me know. Check one more thing before I go. Add a few things and things came and went. So, okay. All right, we're in the final minute. Appreciate everybody that came through. There was some good questions, good commentary tonight. Thank you all for coming through. I may be back tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. It'll be either one of the two. So, I'm doing like 2 or 3 nights during the week, couple during the week, mainly during the weekend. So, anyway, you can help out the situations. Appreciate you coming through, and I will catch y'all soon. Thank you, everything. Thank you for always for the support. Continue. Peace. Stay blessed. Stay focused. Appreciate you. We had a good stream tonight. Thank you, everybody that came through.